If Trump is arrested, how do you think his supporters will react? People don't realize how anticlimactic it will be. Trump and others and making a big show saying the FBI is going to bust down his door at Mar-a-Lago and drag him away in handcuffs. That won't happen. The DA will contact his lawyers to let them know they have issued an arrest warrant and they will schedule a date for Trump to turn himself in. He goes to the police on that. He's fingerprinted, mugshot taken and processed. He'll then be arraigned and released on his own recognizance. All this will be worked out beforehand by his lawyers and the DA. He might fight extradition in Florida and possibly win with the right judge. But then he will be arrested whenever he goes back to NYC, which he has to at some time. Even once he's arraigned, it will take years for the case to go anywhere. Case in point, Ken Paxton has been awaiting trial for years. This is just home making noise for his constituents. Lots of social media posts with excellent punctuation and factual information. And lots of the in your car screaming at your phone acting tough genre of TikTok videos. While wearing Oakleys. You can't forget the Oakleys. Don't forget your tap-out shirt. It's Under Armour. With the logo **** Ultra MAGA ***. Optional Punisher logo with thin blue line tooth. I find it hilarious that the kind of people who put that crap on their cars are exactly the kind of people that the real Punisher would go after. His mugshot will be the dankest meme of all time. And the height and weight stats as part of the booking process. I hadn't thought of that. I now wait breathlessly. I hope we get handprints. To see his tiny little baby hands. Madame Tussauds in Las Vegas has his handprints, and yes, they are small for someone his size. So that's why he thinks everything he holds is bigger than expected. He's also small for someone his size, since he is fucking lying about his height and weight. I expect to hear several mentions of Hunter Biden's laptop. It's funny how people will say someone else broke the law, so Trump shouldn't go to jail. It's like you're on trial for murder and your main defense is there are other murderers. I am going to try that the next time I am pulled over for speeding. Yes, but did you know some people shoplift? I actually heard a gentleman testify in court one time that he was speeding, but the two cars in front of me were going faster. It didn't work. Sounds like the classic, I lost a street race, defense. And GT, I lost a street race, defense. It's worse because the guy who was really losing the race had to turn on his lights and sirens. It arguably should have, though. Driving speed is one of the only areas of law where, but everyone else was doing it, is a legit excuse. It's explicitly wrong to not do so in many jurisdictions. Yep, some states you can be ticketed for reckless driving if you're not matching the flow of traffic. I expect them to let the judicial process play out and hold off on any highly emotional response until the case has concluded and prosecutors have had an opportunity to explain their side of the story. After all, Trump supporters are famous for being calm, well-informed, and level-headed. Probably surprised, considering the number of times people claimed he'd be arrested and he wasn't. I'd be surprised too. The walls are closing in. Pretty much every political pundit left of Mitt Romney by this point. Lul, did you see the segment Jon Stewart did about it on his show The Problem? He had a compilation of common phrases journalists use to talk about the issue. And the walls are closing in was one often repeated. I've seen a video of Jon Stewart talking to what I believe was a far-right politician. I'm not American, so not too up to date with who's who and what's what. And for days I couldn't stop thinking about how Stewart basically annihilated the dude's entire terrible argument, used his own logic against him, made him shove his foot in his own mouth, etc. That was honestly the most satisfying thing I'd seen in a whole month. I can't even remember who he was talking to or what it was about, just how satisfying it was. Lol. Was it this old, but absolutely legendary video of him on Crossfire in the early 2000s? https://youtube.be/fqfb5ypz. Whenever I think of Tucker Carlson, who is Fox News' current host for riling up the conservative base with misinformation, I think of Jon Stewart destroying him on this show. Very satisfying indeed. Was it the, John, what's the #1 cause of child deaths in America? MAGA ass bag, you're gonna say it's guns. John, I am not going to say it's guns, like it is some abstract thing, it's gun violence. Paraphrased. Check out his new show, he does something like that on every issue he touches. The one I was talking about UpThread was the show he did on media, https://www.youtube.com/watch?v equals gzoe4m1t9q closing parenthesis. From min 1440 though, if you can you should watch it all. I started watching the show after watching the video you're referencing. It was about trans kids and it was on the first episode of the second season. Link to the segment about trans kids Spectrophilias was talking about for those curious. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v equals npmnit71fk. The one about the stock market is really good, too. He's interviewing the chief of the SEC. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v equals 0c0sj6s19i closing parenthesis. And considering it's such a touchy subject that impacts daily life of nearly 100% of people in the nation and almost that much around the world, and for how corrupt much of Wall Street is from a historical and sociology perspective, there's a lot of insight and valuable information there. You can watch the show's full segment here. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v equals bp74rbd8 key closing parenthesis comma 2, which is really, really good. Then, if you're still interested and not bored, another video that's about what brought about much of this subject and issue is excellent. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v equals hxxllgcrq closing parenthesis. Only approximately 6 minutes. Edit. And if you're really still not bored, then the website https://marketliteracy.org is something you should read through, as well. Not sure, but I feel like we'll finally get a true understanding of what the battery life on a rascal scooter is. This was his plan all along. It's part of 100-dimensional chess. It's also that the other guy can get really arrested. This is probably the most realistic amongst the Q crowd. Add the word cobble and vampires somewhere in there. You misspelled lizard people. There will be bloodshed in the streets. The heavens will open and fire will rain from the sky. Entire civilizations will be destroyed. The world will be plunged into darkness. People will resort to cannibalism. Demons will emerge from the depths of hell and consume our children. Brendan Fraser will get his Oscar revoked. It will be chaos and madness. Human sacrifice. Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria. Ha 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 ha. Man, I have seen shit that'll turn you white. Yes, Your Honor, it's true this man has no dick. Let's send him a nice fruit basket. I'm gonna miss him. They will blame everyone except the guilty party. They'll make excuses for why his crimes are not really crimes. They'll point the finger and try to say other people who haven't committed crimes are criminals. They'll attack law enforcement and DAs and demand to defund them. Then they'll claim to be the party of law and order. Wasn't that Nixon's stance? When the president does it, it isn't illegal. He wasn't even president when he did this. They'll whine on social media and wait for Fox to build them a counter-narrative they can run with. They'll blame wokeness and the usual targets. Then they'll claim exoneration, when he's released on his own recognizance in a few days. The only interesting question is what DeSantis will do. If he muddies Trump's extradition from Florida, he could get in trouble with the feds. If he lets the Manhattan DA take him, then he risks the wrath of MAGA. Loudly and ineffectively. Loudly on the web. Ineffectively on the streets. It's baffling that he still has supporters tbh. How many people cared about George W. Bush after he left office? I miss the days when the president left office and We all forgot about them. His simps are still hanging on. It's sad. I have an acquaintance who's borderline obsessed with Trump. Trump profile pic on FB, MAGA covers, regular Trump posts, the whole thing. We're European. The man's cult of personality is utterly baffling. I live in Canada and have encountered Trump supporters. If you love him so much, why don't you immigrate to the USA? Always crickets, and then they have to rush off to some doctor's appointment for their chronic illness, pre-existing condition. My theory is that he gives a voice to people who are assholes, but they've always felt like they had to rein it in. When they see him just being upfront about being an asshole, that's how they would like to act. So they like him because it gives them the sense of freedom to act the way they've always